Hello and welcome to this third podcast in the series that we have started. The topic remains death, and I have somebody who is in his early 20s. So, this is going to be a different perspective. So, hello. My first question to you is uh, how do you see death? What is it that the word or the meaning of that word or the experience that you've had in your young life so far? How do you see it? What is your feeling about
Uh, haven't seen much death nearby, but recently seeing all this in COVID hasn't really been very good. Although I had quite quite a bit of fascination with death. So just like Zakir Khan says, I am quite fascinated by Zakir Khan. तो Zakir Khan says, Zakir Khan का एक शेर है,
it? जी
uh, एक एक ख्वाब है जो मैं आसमां से दूर चाहता हूँ. एक ख्वाब है जो मैं आसमां से दूर चाहता हूँ. जिंदगी चाहे गुमनाम रहे, मौत में मशहूर चाहता हूँ. So I don't know what this shade changed to me. Like it literally changed everything regarding death to me. कि मतलब और कुछ ना हो लोगों की मौत हसीन होनी चाहिए. तो मौत, I don't know, if I just feel if you die peacefully, everything you have seen in your life, it's over. It might be a very amateur perspective, but I don't know.
No, it's a good ambition to have, I think. But in terms of thinking about it intellectually vis-a-vis what is happening today in the world, where every now and then we are losing people, known and unknown people to most of them are obviously COVID related deaths, but there are also a lot of other deaths that one has heard of, at least I have. So, has any such experience among people that you've been close to been experienced by you? And I don't need to know the relation or any such thing, but the experience itself. What is the feeling? How do you look at that with the context that you set right now? हसीन होनी चाहिए, but that is just a beautiful way to put it. बट जब होती है तो उसका जो दुख है, जो अकेलापन है, जो इनसिक्योरिटी है, ये सब भी होता है कि बिकॉज ऑफ योर एज यू फील नो वन कैन लुक एट इट डिफरेंटली.
I guess because of my age, I can say कि we can look at it differently. But कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी पास वाले को खोने का गम तो हर किसी को होता ही है. और बहुत इजी शब्दों में कहें तो एक आदत रहती है जो हर किसी इंसान की, जो किसी रिश्ते की, अगर कोई भी आदत छूटेगी तो दर्द तो होगा ही. And then we all are bound by our habits to people. अगर वो एक कोई भी रिश्ता हो, मॉम डैड का रिश्ता हो, भाई बहन का रिश्ता हो, अगर कुछ दिनों के लिए ही बिछड़ते हैं तो भी पेन तो होता ही है. तो that will happen. I just मेरे को एक इंसिडेंट याद आया. So my grandfather was on his deathbed and my father had gone to meet him for the very last time. So he told him a thing and he shared it to his friends later on and I overheard it. So it was like कि जब एक पेड़ से डाली टूटती है या कोई एक पत्ता टूटता है तो दोनों तरफ के कोनों में द एंड्स आर वेट यूजुअली. कुछ समय बाद वो भर जाते हैं. सो इट विल गो ऑन, लाइफ विल गो ऑन. You need not worry.
Your dad said this to your grandfather, or your
My
grandfather?
grandfather said this to my dad.
Oh,
He was assuring him that it's okay. अभी मेरा time आ गया. And literally hearing this from someone like my granddad is shocking, because even on his deathbed he used to say me, अरे अभी तो 30 साल मेरे को और जीने हैं, तू क्या आराम से रहे. So
it is beautiful. It's beautiful as a sentiment. If from somebody's uh, last few moments, if one can hear something like this, I think it's quite inspiring. Especially if we are related, it gives us a lot of peace. Maybe not immediately. I think जो आपने पहले बोला वो तो जरूरी है कि होना ही है. हम सब एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं, तो वी कैन नॉट टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड कि हम इजीली एक्सेप्ट कर पाएंगे. बट अर्लियर व्हेन यू सेड, मुझे लग रहा था कि थोड़ा शायराना अंदाज है, बिकॉज एक्सपीरियंस की बात नहीं है. बट दिस वन इज अ very beautiful touch that you spoke of. So one experience that I want to ask you about. How do you see yourself changing post these kind of learnings? Like when you overheard this, what is the change that has come into your life about either life or death, both? Because indirectly we all live till we die, somebody was saying, and it was said in as a joke, but I think it's a beautiful thing, because you cannot let go of the emotion to feel or contribute or make relationships or do something with this life that we have till we are alive. So has there been any change when you heard this kind of communication from between your dad and your granddad, or?
I guess that's something I heard it when I was around 12 or 13 years old. I don't exactly remember. Yeah.
Okay.
So this was something very okayish at that time. I didn't understand a lot about it, but कुछ चीजें जो हैं वो कुछ समय बाद आपके जो ज़हन में रहती है बाहर आती है, आप समझने की कोशिश करते हो उन्हें. तो ये एक वही वाक्य है जो हाल ही में मेरे दिल में वापस से आया और मैंने उसको दोहराया ड्यू टू सम रीसेंट
एक्सपीरियंसेस.
तो कैसा था कि ये सोचा और मैंने अपने आप को शायद और थोड़ा हल्का महसूस करना शुरू किया कि ठीक है, दिस टू विल पास अवे, दिस टू विल गो. दैट्स द ब्यूटीफुल थिंग आई गेस, कि हर लम्हा भले वो अच्छा हो या बुरा हो बीत जाएगा. वो अगर सोच के चले, इवन दो इट्स something as tragic as somebody's death, you can't do anything. As a human, you don't have much power to stop it. The most you can do it is look into their eyes and say, okay. I just remember one more incident from my father's, and I guess it was my grandmother's last few hours, I guess. So
Okay.
I still remember it was 26th of February. I had my board exams the next day, 12th board exams the next day.
Okay.
And 25th February at night, I came back from, I guess, somewhere I had gone to study or something, I don't remember. तो मैंने आके अपनी ग्रैंड मॉम को एक बहुत अजीब चीज करते हुए देखा. She was literally looking at the wall and she was talking to someone, and there was no one in the room.
Okay.
So I don't know, I just felt it quite weird. And she was a sane lady.
Yeah, like, practical.
I just don't know. I wasn't able to recollect what was happening. So I called my mom and I asked her what's happening. And then I recollected someone had shared an incident about कि यमदूत आता है इनमें and all, and लोग उससे बात करते. So I was seeing her literally कि वो पूरी रात उन्होंने struggle किया उस तरीके से, and on 26th she was still struggling. So uh, my dad's elder brother came over and he was talking to my grandmother. My dad's elder brother, like my uncle's wife,
Hmm.
my aunt came over. She also spoke, but that wasn't changing. So I usually don't
Hmm.
believe in all such cases, but my aunt told कि इसको है ना, my she took my dad's name and she was like इसको उससे बहुत मोह है,
Okay.
so ask him to relieve her.
Okay.
उसको जाने की आज्ञा
हाँ.
जैसा बोलते हैं,
हाँ.
मुक्त करो. तो ask your dad to be okay with it.
Okay.
And I don't know, my dad went in some other room and he started crying and then her soul departed. So I guess that is some other way कि कई बार तुम्हें लोगों को जिससे तुम क्लोज होते हो तुम्हें आज्ञा भी देनी पड़ती है. So that's some other perspective. You can only, I don't know what can I speak about it because I'm clueless. I'm still finding out what that moment exactly was. But that was also an experience very closely seen, and I was there whole night, whole day, and I was just beside her. And
Hmm.
I cannot really, but that was also an experience. You really can't understand it. How
Yeah.
can that is some other perspective? And I really wouldn't believe that, but that was just in front of my eyes.
Yeah. Um.
So that's the reason I try to avoid such topics, and try to keep myself calm in such things, thinking about the thing my grandfather said. But one really can't avoid such things. That is inevitable.
Well said. It's a very wise view for a young person. Okay. I would want to now take the topic a little differently. One of the thoughts uh, that I have about death is the uh, mortality of whatever we do as well. So, in terms of if we do some good work for a for a few days or for a little while, it gives us a lot of satisfaction. If we receive appreciation, it's very enjoyable. But sooner or later, uh, that also kind of goes away. So the pleasure that we had till yesterday in a certain thing, today we are not getting the same pleasure out of it, or that has also disturbed me quite often. Maybe not as the death of someone, but it's a concept that I have struggled with as a young person for many years, and now I have a few thoughts about it. But I would want to know, in cases of other setbacks in your life, because of ये जो experiences हुए हैं, because obviously they were your grandparents that you spoke of, they were very close. How has it changed you as a person in your real life, in other setbacks that you get in work, in relationships, in friendships, and any other monetary troubles, anything at all? How has it changed you when you do not get what you want, or when you have other problems that crop up?
So I was quite attached to my grandparents as compared to anyone else I have been with. Uh, so yeah, that was one thing that had devastated me for quite a while. I used to spend a lot of time alone because earlier when I used to be alone, I knew I had my grandmother in other room. The rest of my family used to walk away or used to, go somewhere or some family function anywhere. But my grandmother and I used to always be there. So there wasn't always this part of being, alone. I
Okay.
knew कि she was there in the next room. But then अचानक से it was like, oh, I'm all alone again.
Okay.
Okay, how will I cope up? So when I used to be alone, I used to think about this. Ki, oh, I'm alone today. Oh, I'm alone today. It wasn't something new because I never used to go and talk to her. Okay, just for a minute or two, or give her some food or something like that. She used to enjoy that. But वैसे तो I used to be alone, na? But there was always a sense कि okay, my grandmother is there in the next room. That used to be there, but later on it changed, and so it gave me a feeling that I don't make attachments much after that, more than needed. If I'm attached to someone, that just will end in some other way. That's a very negative approach to see life, but I guess you need to be ready. If you are attached to someone, you always need to be ready that they can leave anytime, because you never know about anything about not that in a particular way, but any damn thing. So you just have to be ready always, and that I guess has made me prepared for anything. You know if I hear about someone right now very close to me departing me, I wouldn't feel much, I guess. So that was an experience that got me prepared mentally. Uh, so that's it. Earlier, I just wanted to share, earlier I used to take this as a, mode of sympathy. कि okay, इसके साथ ऐसा हो गया, अरे इसके साथ ऐसा होगा. But the later I realized it when I grew, so it was more like this incident I relived and I prepared myself. That's it.
So is it negative as an emotion or is it fearlessness?
I guess it is fearlessness. It's not a negative emotion because being happy or sad, it gives me a very similar feeling. So that's just when I'm happy, just I don't know it's really a share or not, but there is a story about Akbar and Birbal.
Hmm.
कि अकबर आज की बीरबल को कि कोई एक ऐसा वाक्य सुनाओ कि जैसे खुशी में सुने तो दुख हो और दुख में सुने तो खुशी हो. तो बीरबल सेड ये आपने तो सुना ही होगा कि ये वक्त भी गुजर जाएगा. So that is just similar to this preparedness about being happy and preparedness about being sad. कि क्या पता ये वक्त अभी निकल जाएगा. So let's enjoy this right now and not expect if this changes even right now. Not expect anything else.
But you manage to then live it fully. So if you're with a friend or with your relatives or at a party or even something that is not enjoyable, some work or anything at all, do you always consider that it may not stay this way and you want to milk it for whatever it is worth? Is that what you're saying?
At times, yes, I do enjoy it fully, but at times, even though, after all, I'm a human being. So you tend to be somewhere else, being somewhere. But most of the times, I try to make it where I am. Now I'm talking to you, I'm enjoying it, I'm trying to be as relevant as I can. That's it. I know this won't come again, and I don't know, like, okay, I will have this conversation again with you or not, but I'm enjoying it right now. So that's the most I can do.
Okay, that's quite a wise perspective considering your age. But I also think the beauty of what you're sharing is because it comes from very close quarters of seeing death in a particular manner. Uh, However, is there an experience or some example that you would want to share of once you lost your grandma and you realize that you are alone at home sometime, and whatever effect that it had on your mindset when you go out with your friends, or uh, something that happened that would have otherwise upset you, but now you are more in control because of this wisdom that has come to you that it's okay, it's not really such a big deal, or some such thing. I'm just throwing an idea. Feel free to say, give any other example if you feel like.
I guess it also changed in a very positive way that I used to be very alone earlier, and like I used to avoid going out and stuff. I used to lie on my bed and watch movies, and I'm a huge movie fan. So I used to just watch movies or do exercise. I don't remember a lot of things, read or something. Uh, but I used to always feel like, yeah, a sense of someone being there in the next room. But then after she passed away, so I
Hmm.
started feeling alone just as I shared it. So I took over the habit of leaving my house and going to my friend's place and enjoying with them and talking to them. So my friendships grew, I guess, because of that. So I guess it made me socialize a little more because of, I guess, a fear of being alone. But yes, if we
Okay.
take it positively, that also that credit should be given to my grandma.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting perspective to look at uh, both things. On one hand, you are admitting that it might be a fearful reaction to get out because you don't want to stay alone. Uh, so, one little thing I would want to ask you uh, is there a positive in staying alone? Is there anything else that is good about being forced to stay alone? On one hand, it's good that you come out of your introvertedness and socialized a little more, uh, which has its own plus and minus, obviously. What I want to know is because of your age group that you belong to, the early 20s, so is there any positive at all when one is alone?
Uh, so earlier I used to fear being alone because I used to overthink a lot. Oh, at around 18, 19, 20 age, you I
Hmm.
don't think so. There are much troubles you should even feel.
Hmm.
But overthinking and creating scenarios which won't happen was
Okay.
just a favorite pastime, I guess, because I used to feel I'm alone. But then, with the help of family, not even, I guess, my brother-in-law helped me, and he, asked me to join some meditation course, and
Okay.
because of that, I stopped overthinking. Like I now avoid overthinking. So I enjoy the time being alone. So I make sure that I, have some time alone. If I go out for around 3 days, I take out time for myself for around 2 days, and I avoid overthinking. And I just think what are the positive aspects in my life right now, or else what I need to do, what I need to do in near future or in my future. That's it. So I guess earlier it was more of like fear of thinking what's going on in my life right now that stopped me from being alone.
Yeah.
Now I guess I have started enjoying it because I have changed my habit. So that's it. But that's a totally different tangent, I guess, relating to the topic.
No, it is
But
not actually.
that was just
I think it's quite a lot. What I learned over the years, I my experience was not similar in terms of losing someone close from my family. But when I was, I guess, your age, I enjoyed. uh, doing things to find out what I really liked as a person. Because I found one of the pressures of my age was that I had to like everything that they liked. I had to dress the way they dressed, or I had to do the things they did, or else, like in the 18 to 25, 27 age, when I was trying to find out who am I, really, what is it that I like or dislike, I found a lot of that time was very useful for me uh, as well. I learned. I also did meditation, but after that, but during that time, I went through a lot of these emotions that you mentioned, a sense of fear, uh, and contrary to the that also a sense of fearlessness, a lot of love for myself, uh, a lot of music I discovered that I would have otherwise not discovered because it was very particular to what I liked listening to, and I did not have any friends who liked that kind of thing. I did a lot of reading that helped me improve my worldview, understanding of the world. So I guess during that time, I learned to invest in myself and find out what worked for me, independent of what others thought of me. So, in a way, I found a face of mine. Whether it stayed the same or not is a different thing altogether. One keeps changing uh, at every stage, I guess, with different responsibilities, different things that one does. And being left alone is not so bad, I would think. And I agree with you in terms of the balance that you found. It may not be ideal, may not always work. Like you said, we are human. We make mistakes. We walk the right path for a while, then we fall off the path, then we do certain mistakes, and then we learn from them, or sometimes refuse to learn. All kinds of things happen. But it can only happen when one is honest with the fact that one is alone and one is responsible for one's own self. That's how I look at it. With all these years that I have spent with myself, and if one becomes comfortable with oneself after a little while, how much ever time it takes, I think it's worthy of spending time the way you are. And yes, of course, there is fear, there is isolation, there is sense of loneliness. वो सारी चीजें होती है और बहुत खटकती है बहुत with all the movies, all the books, all the emphasis on getting a certain kind of life, a certain kind of relationship, or certain kind of even hairstyle and shoes and jeans. Beyond the point, there is a lot of pressure to be in a certain manner. तो वो freedom थोड़ा आता है अगर अपने साथ time बिताया तो you find out कि चलता है अगर ये नहीं किया तो I'm not really keen about this thing. Or sometimes you think कि नहीं ये करूँगा तो it will help me in my understanding of or belonging to a certain group or learning about a certain thing or getting a certain kind of job. But just knowing कि where do I stand, I think that is a good thing that I take from what you said. So one last question I have. Uh, your experience with this isolation, loneliness, death, whatever one wants to call these different kinds of experiences, how has it prepared you for um, your own journey in life? What are your expectations from yourself at this stage where you stand?
At this stage, I just want to get over with this lockdown and get a job. And because that's the, I guess that's
First
the
priority.
nearest goal, first from thing, which I get. But to get back to life, I guess more or less, I just want to experience all this more. In this lockdown, I guess, not in the last one, but this, the current lockdown which is going on,
Hmm.
I'm taking up small challenges to making myself better, I guess, every day. So I just I used to be a total, you know, uh, I'm not able to recollect the right word, but अगर हिंदी में कहें तो मनमौजी kind
Hmm.
of guy in the last lockdown. I used to sleep
Hmm.
at 4 and get up at 11, 12 and did not care about all that. So now I'm trying to make a balance. At times I sleep early, get up really early and do my chores and
Hmm.
make goals completely. So I get more. I used to sleep late, watch movies all night, and think
Hmm.
that okay, I enjoy my company and all that. But in this lockdown, I later on realized more that I really didn't enjoy being with myself. I just avoided time, avoided by watching movies or read
Hmm.
stuff or play games or any damn thing. So
Yeah.
now I make sure I get up early and spend some time with myself, think what I'm doing today, think what I'm gonna do tomorrow. So that's the most I'm trying to do with this isolation thing right now. That's the most I can think right now.
Yeah.
I guess with the life I have around me.
Yeah.
So I don't have some huge goals, but I'm trying to keep up with
Discipline
some small
yourself.
goals. Yeah.
I like it. I think it's a very good and a happy note to end on where uh, certain negatives have brought out certain positive attributes in you, and you are searching to find more meaning in your daily life rather than planning long term goals. So, on that note, all the very best, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is all
Yeah.
mine.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.